listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
It used to be that calling a film a turkey was an insult. Nowadays, there's actually an audience for some of the worst movies ever made.
This movie sucks.
Baby, you are gonna go broke showing turkeys like these.
Now we're talking turkey.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker. We cannot help but love bad movies.
It's turkey time. Gobble, gobble.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Let's Talk Turkeys. I'm Nikki Flicks, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Movie Miss. Hello, Miss.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. Have you got your notes? You ready for class?
I am
ready to talk about it?
ready to be on campus. Yes.
All righty. Let's get started. Today, we will be discussing the 1998 film Dead Man on Campus.
I love college. Oh, shake it off.
Just remember, you have to keep a B+ average to keep your scholarship.
You're looking at a dead man.
Don't worry, kid. Dale Man has always had a rule that if your roommate
died as a result of his own willful act,
you get straight A.
I'm not going to kill myself, in case that's what you're wondering.
Okay, now, here's Mr. Z.
Who's Mr. Z?
Mr. Z is the guy who's going to kill himself whether he lives with us or not.
Might as well live with us, so his death won't be in vain.
We've got 2 weeks to move him in here and push him over the edge. This guy, he is it, man.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
That one's not beer.
Pamphlets say it's crucial to keep all instruments of self-destruction away from the suicidal person. Hey, Buckley.
Ah, what's with the knife?
You must be our new roommate.
That's right, if I'm still around.
Hey!
Whoa!
This guy's psychotic.
I smell a pig.
Hey, pig! Hey!
Paramount Pictures presents, in association with MTV Films,
Do you guys know any chicks who like art?
a Pacific Western production.
What was I thinking listening to you? Which one of these chicks is for me? Actually, I think they're all lesbians. Lesbians! You guys are cool, man.
Men on campus.
They hate it when you do this. Let's go!
I am a big fan of this movie. It's total 90s nostalgia for me. But for the pod today, Movie Miss only just saw it for the very first time. And we have not discussed the movie at all. I have no idea how she feels about it. So this should be a pretty fun conversation.
Hot take. Didn't care for it. but there is some good stuff to talk about. I promise. Some fun stuff.
All righty. We're ready to jump in here. It definitely qualifies as a turkey. Got a critic score of just 15% on Rotten Tomatoes and audience score of 55%. I see you concur with the critics.
Yeah, I really do. And it doesn't surprise me with the audience because it's kind of a middle of the road. You probably love it or you hate it kind of deal.
So it has a running time of 96 minutes, had a budget of $14 million and grossed $15 million at the worldwide box office. So definitely a financial dud. They barely recouped their money on this one.
I'm sorry. Did you say worldwide was 15?
Yeah, 15 worldwide.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. Yep. So Dead Man on Campus is a Black comedy directed by Alan Cohn, and his only film credit as a director. He has done a lot of TV work, though. It was the first R-rated film from the MTV Films production studio that was pumping them out in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, they were.
And interesting note, I saw here that it was produced by Hollywood legend Gail Ann Hurd, who produced the Terminator movies, Aliens, Armageddon, and is now, of course, synonymous with The Walking Dead.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, she produced this movie.
Oh, was she cutting her teeth or had she been around for a while?
She'd been around for a while. She worked with James Cameron all through the 80s and into the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess she decided to take a foray into the teenage film market. Didn't quite pan out financially. Oh, poor Gail. She's made it back and then some with Walking Dead, though, hasn't she? All righty. So Dead Man on Campus stars Tom Everett Scott, Mark Paul Gosselaar, Poppy Montgomery, Lachlan Monroe, Randy Perlstein, Corey Page, Allison Hannigan, Mary Morrow, Eric Egan, Jason Segel, and Linda Cardellini. I have to mention that even though it was panned by the critics, the New York Times reviewer agreed with me when they said Mark Paul Gosselaar is so much better than the material he makes the movie. I completely agree. He's the reason I love this movie. He keeps me in stitches and I adore him in this movie.
So the casting of this movie, I'm just going to say, I was a huge fan of Saved by the Bell. So I was super excited to see Zach show up. I'm guessing he wanted to do something like this because it had only been a few years since he'd done that last Saved by the Bell movie and he wanted to really differentiate himself. So he's got the black hair and everything going on. Unfortunately, even though I love him, I didn't buy him for 2 seconds in this role. I felt like he was trying too hard. Tom Everett Scott, always a delight. I love him, but also fell flat for me because he seems to be playing the same type that he always plays. Even in American Werewolf in Paris, he's this sweet, lovable goof. In this, I felt like he was playing the same character. For me, the shining jewel in this movie is Lachlan Monroe. Oh my God.
I feel you. I love him.
Laughed hysterically and even paused it because I was laughing so hard. I rewound and watched scenes with him. In fact, I will say Jason Segel, anybody that they had as a roommate at any point in the movie was perfectly cast. They were hysterical. They were great with their lines. So that was what I loved about the casting. I unfortunately didn't like the main characters. I liked the other colorful people.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. I think that's why I didn't like it that much. I didn't care for the 2 main characters. But that also could be the writing. I mean, it's not their ability.
Oh yeah, it's terrible in my opinion. The critics said it's predictably stupid, it's lowbrow. Agreed. But when I'm in the mood for it, this movie still tickles my pickle. It's just the way the humor flows, and a lot of it does have to do with the roommates, which we'll get to them one by one. So the quick plot synopsis from IMDb: 2 college roommates go out and party, resulting in bad grades. They learn of the clause that says, if your roommate dies, you get an A, and decide to find someone who's on the verge, so to speak, to move in with them.
I feel like Hollywood does this all the time. They did it with I Am Legend, as we discussed, and a few other things, including this one. In the same year or the same 2-year span, similar movies with a similar plot done completely different ways come out at the same time.
Yep.
There was this movie in 1998 called The Curve, which not a lot of people are familiar with, has Matthew Lillard in a stellar cast. And in my opinion, it's this same subject matter, but it is done as a dark suspense twist thriller type versus the comedy type that this MTV production went for. I personally think that movie did it better if you're going to compare subject matter. But also, I feel like even if The Curve didn't exist for me to compare, this movie misses the mark because I don't think that this subject matter is funny. And I don't feel like they should have tried to make it funny. I feel like it was better left alone. That's my take.
I agree with you. And yeah, we should definitely talk about The Curve in the future because I freaking adore that movie as well. Great cast. Kerry Russell. Oh, my favorite thing she was ever in. Yeah, that's a great movie. And yep, I know what you're saying, like Armageddon, Deep Impact, all these movies that have the same plot being done a little differently, coming out at the same time. I totally agree with you. And yeah, the black comedy as a description for this, that's accurate as hell.
Yeah.
Because yes, you're dealing with pretty dark subject matter. And unless you're doing it really, really right, it's not going to come across funny. It might be taken the wrong way. It might be seen as offensive. It's politically incorrect. I feel you. I don't know why my mind jumps over all of that problematic stuff and still laughs my ass off when I watch this movie. I don't know why, but yeah, I guess I just was going through an easy to please phase in the late 90s and it made me laugh. And now I remember that.
You have the nostalgia factor. See, I don't. I just watched it yesterday for the first time ever.
Let's go ahead and jump into the movie, which opens with a cover of David Bowie's Golden Years performed by Marilyn Manson.
Love it. Love it.
For me, there's lots of cool late 90s music in this soundtrack. It's my high school experience. So yeah, I live for the music. And then oh, I'm glad you like that song. Yeah, he has a lot of great covers and I've never heard this one until this movie. It's the only time I ever heard it.
It struck me so much. Sorry to interrupt, but it struck me so much when it was going that I paused the movie, even though it had just started, to Google and look it up and see who it was. That's how much it made an impression on me and set the tone where I was ready to get into this movie. So that was a smart choice on their part, I think.
I think so too. Yep. So you've got that song playing and the credits roll in a pretty creative way with these weird images of test answer sheets and textbooks. It's these really macabre images of death and suicide. And then we meet Josh, Tom Everett Scott. And he is a wide-eyed college freshman on his first day at the fictional Daleman College. He meets with an advisor, and we learn that
was my question. Was Daleman a real college?
Oh, no. Fictional school. I think portions of it were filmed at USC and
okay.
other campuses around SoCal. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm bad at this being on the other side part. I keep wanting to interrupt you. I'll let you finish and then I'll jump in. Sorry.
Alrighty. So we meet Josh, wide-eyed college freshman. First day at the fictional Daleman College. He meets an advisor and we learn he's in the work-study program. He's on a 6-year pre-med track. He's got tons of responsibilities. He makes his way up to his dorm room and we see some of his new neighbors settling in. He enters his room to find that there's space for 3 students, 2 beds in one room and a single room. The single room has been claimed by Kyle, a baby-faced Jason Segel, who is hilariously angry for absolutely no reason. Thoughts on Kyle, miss? What do you think here?
I love him. I paused it and I was like, no, that is not Jason Segel, because I didn't look at the cast list before I started the movie. Oh my God. He is so intense. I was like, what is that? Pent up sexual frustration? And sure enough.
Yep, that's what you find out. Absolutely. That's Kyle's problem. So yeah, Kyle, who just is angry at the world. So then we cut to Josh entering the dining hall where he once again sees angry Kyle, who proceeds to stare him down while eating his food very angrily. And Josh takes a seat alone. I have to tell you something. A few years back, me and Mr. Real Rusty, who hopefully we'll have as a guest here pretty soon, we took up this habit that we call angry eating, where particularly when there are chicken legs involved, you take a bite and just stare the other person down, looking as pissed off as you can possibly be while eating. And we try to do it as long as we can and see who cracks first, who laughs. I didn't even realize that when I invented that concept, it actually came from this movie. It came from Jason Segel eating that goddamn chicken leg, looking like he wants to just kill poor Josh.
Well, that's why I had high hopes for this, because from minute 1, this movie was hysterical as soon as he was introduced.
Yeah, you're laughing right off the bat. Yep. So poor Josh is eating alone. And then that night, while he's trying to get some sleep, Josh is awakened by the sound of someone hitting a bong in the dark. It's a couple of moving men. And then in walks Cooper, Mark Paul Gosselaar, the owner of the giant purple bong the movers are using. And this is Josh's new roommate. Cooper says that he invited a few people to come up for some drinks. And Josh, being the nice guy he is, says, oh, that's cool. Suddenly the room is full wall to wall with students having a party.
If I'm Josh, I am shutting that shit down. No.
Exactly. No. Honestly, no. I think that right there explains why Cooper loves Josh. He loves Josh because Josh will put up with his bullshit.
He can steamroll right over him.
Exactly.
But see, then that made me not like Josh. I was like, oh, come on, buddy. Pre-med, like, you got your shit together. You must be smart. And then he's not that smart.
No, he maybe is book smart, but he's not very wise in the ways of the world. So, yep, they've got a room full of students now, and angry Kyle enters the room, tells Cooper to shut the hell up. He and Cooper have a confrontation, and Cooper shows us his manipulative superpowers by not only calming Kyle down, but getting him to join the party. So then we meet Pickle, played by Eric Egan, a homesick nerd with a blender who lives across the hall. Josh's math award is mistaken for a dildo, and Josh explains to Cooper that he's from Indiana and he's pre-med. Cooper can't believe that Josh studies.
Yeah.
It cracks me up when he says, I had a couple friends who used to do that in high school. It's just, to me, I like the character of Cooper because he's such an asshole and he's so not likable. But to me, I feel like Mark Paul Gosselaar sells it because you instantly want to smack him in the face every time he opens his mouth.
See, to me, I saw Zach Morris is trash.
And now he went to college. Exactly.
That's all I could see.
I think that's why it works for me, because I love me some Zach Morris. And I'm like, what would happen really when he went to college? Slater wouldn't follow his ass to school. He'd have to make some new friends.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
Yep. And he upped his game. So Cooper leaves the bed to get Josh some pants. Josh notices 3 females who've joined the party. We've got Lucy, Allison Hannigan, thank you, Jason Segel's future wife on How I Met Your Mother.
Yep.
Kristen, played by Mary Morrow, and Rachel, Poppy Montgomery, the blonde, and she has caught Josh's eye.
Not impressed with her.
I know, me neither. Honestly, I'm like, either of the other 2 are more eye-catching in my opinion, but what are you going to do?
Teach his own.
Exactly. So angry Kyle tells Josh he knows exactly who blonde Rachel is. He knows where she's from and that she's into creative writing. All of this he got from the freshman Facebook.
That's right. I went, what?
Yes, you heard it right, folks. There is a freshman Facebook, an actual paper book with photos of all the freshmen, and it has bios and what they're studying.
Well,
so
I knew
he
what it
hands
was
this
because of watching Social Network.
Right. Yeah. That's how the idea of Facebook even came about. So he hands the freshman Facebook to Josh and tells him he's been whacking off to it constantly for the past month. Oh my goodness. Oh, Kyle. So, yep. Now we're starting to see he meets young Kelly, adorable fresh-faced Linda Cardellini.
Right.
And he's instantly drawn to her because of her giant gold cross. Yes, that's right. He is a sexually repressed Catholic schoolboy. Now we understand Kyle.
Yeah. I had to double look at her for a second because she looks so much like the actress that plays Lynn in Cabin in the Woods. And she's from like Angel. You know what actress I'm talking about?
Yes.
So I double looked. Young, they look alike, I thought.
I agree with you. Yep, that's Linda Cardellini.
So cute.
And yep, so he instantly tells her that he loves her. So they're hitting it off. So then Cooper and Josh meet Rachel, Lucy, and Kristen. Apparently Lucy thinks Kristen is from the hood because she's Black. So there's a problem there.
I like, she's instantly, like, we need to go have a talk.
Exactly. Instantly laughing at Lucy and disappointed that she's not a bigger part of the plot because Allison Hannigan is comedy chops for days. A little underused, I think, in this movie. So Josh and Rachel hit it off, of course. And when Rachel says she'll see Josh around as she's leaving, this makes me laugh the way he's like, yeah, no, I'll see each other around. Who can play bumbling and nervous quite like Tom Everett Scott? He's so cute.
He is a cutie patootie.
So the next morning we have Josh waking up for class and you see Cooper in bed with a random girl from last night. He slaps her on the arm when she tries to wake him up and then she shoves him. And I had to back it up and watch it because Mark Paul Gosselaar slammed his head into that wooden nightstand on accident. And I watched it like 5 times and laughed harder every time because he actually hits his head. You can see it on that girl's face like, oh shit.
As soon as he hit it, I just went, ooh.
Ooh, yep. So then after that, we get a quick montage, Josh's class load. It's a lot.
Oh my God. I loved the teacher in his organic chemistry class that's like peddling his own book as the textbook.
Telling them that they have to go buy his book, right?
Right.
If that ain't why some college professors get into being college professors, let me tell you,
yeah.
They have a captive audience. So yeah, he's got a lot on his plate. And then we also see his after school job at the housing office. At the end of his long day, he enters the room and is very irritated when he comes across hungover Cooper still in bed begging for water like a baby. This scene makes me laugh when he makes him bring in the water and he's just got his mouth open and it makes him pour the water in for him. I get like Ferris Bueller vibes in the bed with the blankie pulled up, like, oh
Yeah.
it makes me laugh. Then we cut to Josh in a math study group, struggling to keep up with the other students, then back at their dorm room again. And Cooper not only spills his bong water on Josh's homework, and then he uses Josh's sweater to clean it up.
That traumatized me. I was
Unbelievable.
like, so freaking foul. I could smell it when I was watching it.
That's absolutely disgusting. And how freaking inconsiderate and self-centered is this guy?
Exactly.
Oh my God. But like I said, for me, Mark Paul Gosselaar plays that in a way where I find it charming and I don't know why. he's so awful, but I'm charmed by it. I got problems. Alrighty, so he spills his bong water. Then angry Kyle enters and tells them that he'll be staying with Kelly for a while, but they better not fuck with his stuff. Josh and Cooper have their first little tiff, wherein Cooper maintains that his need to clean his bong is just as important as Josh's need to study. Seriously. Apologies are made, and after Josh has gone to bed, the idiocy continues because Cooper keeps him awake by bringing yet another girl into the dorm room. Then we cut to Josh on the phone with his mother. She's asking him how he's doing. He's trying to tell her that he's doing okay, but then he's interrupted when Cooper calls him, telling him he needs to come meet him at the bar right now. And then Cooper enters the room while on the phone with Josh, telling him that he needs to go. Then he stands outside the door after Josh slams it in his face and waits. He finishes the conversation, and then when Josh opens the door, Cooper's still standing right there with the phone in his ear.
What I noticed was the size of the cell phones. I was like, they're all smaller than Saved by the Bell days, but not small enough yet.
Right? Yeah, they were getting there.
Yeah.
Of course, Josh changes his mind and agrees to go to the bar, and he's very happy when they get there to find the three girls, Rachel included, are waiting for them at the bar. So then Cooper struggles to buy some beer with his fake ID. The bartender's not buying his ID. So
I did
he's
laugh
got
at that part.
got a few more he needs to try. I love the one with he's wearing a turban and his name is Dr. Muhammad Rashid. What is that?
I did laugh at that part.
So stupid.
And he has a whole bunch of the IDs.
Like 6 of them. The bartender's like, whatever, just take the fucking beer. So as they're sitting at the table, Rachel tells Josh that she has a crush on him. And I like the way she does it. It's really cute, where she's trying to tell him about the story she wrote about a girl who likes this guy who's totally clueless. Like, it's so cute. And he just doesn't get it.
He literally is clueless in that.
Yeah, his little naivete is just so adorable. So she's trying to tell him, but after that, they leave the bar. They're on the bridge. Josh and Cooper sit down and they're talking a little bit about Cooper's life. Josh asks how Cooper manages to stay in school without even going to classes. Cooper explains that his father owns a huge toilet cleaning company, is a giant asshole, and that he likes to call him Flushels the toilet cleaning clown. So Cooper is forced to stay in school because his dad just keeps paying for it, even though Cooper says he has no idea what he wants to do with his life. He thinks that instead of being assessed the future, they should just have fun now. So Josh says fun is a dead end. And the guys in high school who worried about having fun hate their lives now. Good point, Josh. Right?
Yes. Is
that what you're thinking too?
Team Josh. I was like the voice of reason. Like, don't let him sway you with his nonsense.
Josh should try to be a good influence on Cooper.
Right. That's the movie I want.
So after this, Rachel asks Josh to walk her home, and she literally has to spell it out for him and give him breadcrumbs like, you need to come in here now. And now you're also following me in here. Yes, please come into my room. And now we're going to kiss because I want to sleep with you. He's so clueless. She has to walk him through it.
That's the only reason that I bought the fact that Josh can have sex with a girl and get enamored with her and throw his entire medical career track out the window, because he is so clueless and naive. This had to be probably the best thing since sliced bread that has ever happened to him, because why else would you buy that he's willing to throw away medical school for this girl?
Exactly. This kid clearly has been doing nothing but studying and worrying about college all through high school. He has not partied. He has not had fun. There have been no girls, obviously.
That's the only thing I could come to terms. I had that has to be it, because he
Oh.
seems too smart to throw away medical school. What are you doing, dude? Over some pussy. Come
This is
on.
exactly what happens, because the very next morning he returns to his room, sees Kristen leaving. She obviously slept with Cooper, enters the room, finds Cooper doing some sort of headstand yoga post-coital ritual. I don't know what he's doing. He's got the
He's trying to
candles
get
and he's on
pregnant.
his head. Yeah, maybe. And of course, now that Josh had some real fun and finally got laid, his attitude has changed. He loves college. He loves Cooper. He loves Cooper's sweater. He loves this bong. He loves chair. He loves everything.
He loves lamp.
He grabs the chair and starts on, I love this chair. He's having a good time now, and he hits a joint, and that's that. No going back. He can't believe he was wasting so much time in the library. Oh, the downward spiral of poor Josh.
I do want to say also that I felt like for all of this to happen to where we are now, we're almost at the 30-minute mark. I didn't need 30 minutes of setup to understand who Cooper is and what influence he's going to have on Josh. I could have gotten that in 5 to 8 minutes. And I felt like that's another reason why I didn't really enjoy this film that much, because we didn't need 30 minutes of setup to get to this point to learn what Cooper's all about.
I think the idea is probably 30 minutes to get to know Josh, so that when he falls under Cooper's influence, you're like, oh no. If it happened in the first 5 minutes, you wouldn't give a shit what happens to Josh. You kind of had to get to know him a little bit so you feel sorry for him. Like, oh man, you're blowing it now. They kind of had to set you up for that, I think. But I agree. This is, to me, this is where the movie takes a turn and becomes way more fun now that we're done getting to know everybody. And so after this point, we cut to a montage of Josh giving in to Cooper's terrible influences. He's having trouble in class. He's not studying. He's failing to even finish a midterm because he fell asleep.
See.
Right? Where's Dave when you need him?
He's filling in those bubbles.
Exactly. So Cooper tells Josh not to worry about grades and tests. They're silly. And I love it when he says that. That's silly. Josh gets angry at Cooper and tells him to stay away from him. In their room, Cooper continues to aggravate and annoy Josh, who's back to trying to study. But Cooper's listening to obnoxiously loud music. And at one point, he steals Josh's stethoscope and is amazed when he can hear his heartbeat through his penis. It makes me laugh every time.
Okay, I laughed at that too. Yeah.
Dick jokes. I'm laughing. I'm easy to please at this point. But we stop laughing when Cooper's father shows up, and he throws Josh into Kyle's empty room, puts Cooper in a headlock, and threatens to stop paying for school and make him come clean toilets if he doesn't pass all of his classes now.
MVP
So,
of the movie, Cooper's dad.
Right? Laying down the law on this kid.
Straighten his ass out.
Cracks me up when the dad turns around and Cooper's standing behind him and he just starts throwing punches in the air like he wants to hit him so hard. And then he turns around instantly like, I'm 8 years old. Like, clearly he's very scared of his father, and he should be.
Yeah.
So Cooper explains the situation with his dad to Josh, and they're at the bar now, and Cooper's very distraught. He says, this is going to drive him to drink. He's been drinking all along. This is going to drive him to drink. So, of course, Josh tells him there's only one thing that can save him now, and that's studying. But I laugh so hard every time because when Josh says there's only one thing that can save you now, and Cooper goes, what, Valium? Nope, studying. So Josh, of course, offers to be Cooper's study buddy. And Cooper says, that's insane. Who would actually study to pass their classes? Who does this? Enter the bartender, who hears their conversation and tells them they need to go talk to the local drunk Henry. He went to Daleman and he's got some information for you. So they sit down with Henry, who drunkenly tells them that his roommate killed himself in college and that the school has a rule. If that happens, you get straight A's. So this is how they're finding this out.
Is that a real thing? Do you know? Did you Google that?
I can find nothing that says that's true. It is an urban legend generated by my idiot latter half of Gen X people. It's an urban legend. I think maybe once or twice somebody went through some really bad trauma and got a pass, and then word spread like wildfire that colleges do that. During this conversation, though, that random drunkard that's sitting at the next table just starts to interject with nonsense. Some people eat bugs. My intestines are over 2 miles long. What the hell?
Those are the people that I want to focus on. See, all the tertiary characters.
For me, if I am not going more than 10 minutes without laughing out loud, that's a comedy win. And so far, they're peppering in just enough that I'm guffawing and laughing out loud about every 10 minutes. So I'm on track and I'm laughing. Yeah, I appreciate the random drunkard. It's just so stupid. So after they find all of this information out, Cooper is sold on the idea. This is the way, and he wants to find a written copy of that rule so they can prove that it's true. Of course, he needs Josh's help because Cooper has no idea where the library is. So we cut to the library where Cooper is amazed because he's seeing a library for the very first time. So he finds the rule in the school's antique charter. And what does he do? He immediately rips the page out of the book so he can go make a copy.
Oh my God, I know. I was like, what? But you know what? That tracks. He would do that.
He's the most self-centered kid I've ever seen in my life. He just rips the page out so he can go make a copy and then screams at Josh across the library, hey, I got the copy, because he obviously doesn't know how libraries work.
I like everybody's all shh at him for like 5 minutes. Shh.
Dumbass. So while they're sitting here, Cooper insinuates maybe Josh should kill himself.
And he needs to take one for the team, do him a solid.
This conversation makes me laugh. He's like, be a sport, you're fucked anyway.
Yeah.
And then Josh immediately turns around and gives it back to him. Maybe you should kill yourself. And Cooper's like, no, I don't see that working. So knowing that neither of them is going to do it, they leave the library. And once they're outside, Cooper suggests maybe angry Kyle, maybe he'll kill himself. And Josh reminds him, hey, Kyle's barely even around anymore. He's busy with his new love. So Cooper decides to join an orientation at a campus suicide prevention hotline, where he immediately starts grilling the supervisor about what it takes to push someone over the edge. He wants advice on what it would take to get someone to kill themselves. And then we cut to Josh meeting with his advisor, and he learns that his situation is way more desperate than he thought. He has absolutely no chance of saving his GPA and maintaining his scholarship at this point.
My heart sank because I was like, how do you have a scholarship and still risk blowing it? Like, come on.
I'll tell you how. By living as a teenager under the too strict lifestyle where you're not allowed to experiment or have any fun. If it's all about structure and all about studying and future plans, this is the shit that happens. You turn 18 and girls gone wild. Because, oh my God, I've never been to a party. I've never been around females. I've never done, and there you go. If you were allowed to do a little bit of that in high school, you maybe would take college more seriously. That's just my opinion on the subject, but
that's right. That's a good point.
So Josh explains what's happening with his GPA and his scholarship to Cooper, and Cooper immediately takes that to mean that Josh is in on the plan to find a roommate who wants to kill themselves. So Cooper then assaults Josh with his giant chalkboard and reveals his plan, which he's drawn out in great detail. They need to seek out the most depressed guy on campus, Mr. Z, by stalking the mental health clinic, move him into Kyle's abandoned room, wait for him to do the deed, then boom, they pass their classes. Cooper begs Josh to help him make this plan happen, but Josh refuses. However, he changes his mind when he hears a voicemail from his mommy, reminding him she expects all A's.
Wah, wah.
Too much pressure on this kid. That's why he's buckling. So now that Josh is in on the plan, we see him and Cooper hiding in the bushes near the mental health clinic, incognito with their sunglasses on, while Cooper is stalking potentially suicidal future roommates with his camera. When a couple of their friends, Zeke and Jerry, spot them, Josh is a little bothered by the fact that they seem to think Cooper and Josh are making out in the bushes. Cooper thinks it's great if they think that they're a gay couple because now they don't suspect what's really going on.
Well, when they get startled and fall down on top of each other, my brain immediately went, here comes the gay joke.
Yep. I love how Cooper embraces it, though. Cooper, I swear to God, I think Cooper has a crush on Josh. I'm just going to say it. I think he does. I think that's why they're BFFs. So then we're going to cut to my absolute favorite scene of this movie, which is Cooper and Josh dressed all in black, Mission Impossible style, trying to break into the office to get the files on their targets.
The only thing in this scene that had me laughing was every single time Cooper said their code name.
Okay, let's set the scene. They're dressed all in black. For absolutely no reason, they are running a crisscross alternating pattern through the trees when they could just be walking down the street. And as they're doing this, Cooper eats shit on the wet grass and falls, then instantly gets up and goes, Josh, I'm crying laughing at this point. So they make their way to a brick wall, which is about, 3 feet high. And then they're doing this thing where they're alternately popping up, down, up, down. It reminded me of Transylvania 6 5000, the popping up and down. They got into a rhythm to check and see if somebody's coming. They get to the brick wall, they get to the end of it, hop over it because it's only about 3 feet high. And then they instantly step over the wall and they're on the roof. So here's the thing. This is a 2-story building, but it's on a hill. They're literally walking onto the roof. They didn't have to climb to get there. And this plan is so stupid because they could just break into a window on the ground floor. But
Right.
no, they're on the roof. And the plan is they're going to jimmy open a skylight, and then Josh will lower Cooper down on a rope into the building. They've got headsets so they can communicate via radio. Josh will stay on the roof, lower Cooper in. Cooper reminds Josh they need to use their code names. He tells Josh his code name is Dinah, while Cooper's is Panther.
He's like, why do I have to be Dinah? I don't know, go with it. Or whatever he says.
My favorite thing about this scene, I mean, I'm laughing so hard I'm crying, and I watch the scene 3 times every time I see the movie. I have to watch it like 2 or 3 times. Is that Cooper literally says Dinah a total of 11 times in the next minute.
That's why I was laughing every time he said it.
So much. Dinah, Dinah, Dinah. They're just, oh my God. I'm laughing so hard at it. Oh, I'm so easy to please at this point. So while attempting to jimmy the lock on the skylight, Cooper accidentally smashes the glass anyway. And then Josh goes ahead and just lifts the broken window because it wasn't even locked. And Cooper just keeps saying Dinah for absolutely no reason as he's being lowered 12 feet onto the floor in the office. And then when he gets there, he lands flat on his face. Dinah says he isn't sure that they even needed rope for this, but Panther informs Dinah after landing flat on his face that he's in. Panther has reached the file room, and Dinah says he's not Dinah anymore, he's Cobra. At this point, Panther is now lost in the small file room and needs Dinah to help him navigate it.
So dumb.
Dinah hears a security guard approaching and tells Panther, abort the mission. The guard gets into the building, but gets caught on Panther's rope as he makes his escape, pulling the security guard all the way through the building.
Drags him.
And then finally, like I said in the first place, he breaks through a window in order to get out. They could have just broken into one of the ground floor windows in the first place.
Yep, so complicated.
That whole scene, I'm crying, laughing, just describing it. And I've seen it 3 times in the last 2 days, and I still laugh.
It's so dumb, the whole entire thing. And to me, that's what makes it funny. I laughed all the way through. Every time he said Dinah, every time something slapsticky happened, all the way through.
So after this mission successful, we get a quick montage of their planning process as Josh and Cooper put all their information, everything they got from about their potential roommates, they put it all together. Josh visits a psychology professor who mistakes Josh's questions about depression to mean that he is depressed and locks him in the room and asks him, are you okay?
Yeah, that creeped me out to see that he had it on like a button to shut the door.
Exactly. He just picks up the remote and boop, lock the door. So
sketchy.
Let's talk. Next, we see Josh running into Miss Rachel, who's wondering why she hasn't heard from him in a while. Rachel gives him a copy of her short story, and he dickishly asks her, is there a shorter version? Cooper interrupts them from the window above. Josh says he'll call Rachel soon. Heads up to the room. In their room, Cooper tells Josh he has library books, and he can't believe that they let you borrow them like that. Josh says his psych professor thinks he's suicidal, and Cooper lets Josh know that a mark named Cliff is the ideal target for Mr. Z. Cliff has a death wish, sets fires, and is a reckless, psychotic alcoholic.
And hysterical.
Lachlan Monroe, look up his IMDb. He's comedy gold, and he did a shit ton of stuff in the late 90s and early 2000s. He's that face you see and you instantly go, oh, geez, this character is the one I'm going to be watching for the next however long he's on screen, right?
He's a that guy to me. Every time I see him, I go, oh, that guy, but I didn't remember his name.
He is a scene stealer. Yeah, Lachlan Monroe.
He was the gem in this, the shining gem in this movie to me.
Absolutely. So Cliff is about to be kicked out of his fraternity, Kappa Omega. And over at the Kappa house, we see why. We see Cliff up on the 3rd floor balcony railing, throwing water balloons at passersby. He's threatening to jump. He's mooning people. It's got the words "eat me" written across his ass.
Yes, and what is wrong with his ass, by the way? Because there's bruises, pimples, marks. I was like, I don't want to see that.
Cliff's ass has obviously been through a lot.
It's been through it. See, that alone made me laugh when he flashes everybody.
Seeing this guy up here, Cooper is convinced this is the guy. So he and Josh head up to Cliff's room to meet him. Cliff says his fraternity brothers want to kick him out for not observing quiet hours, but they can all suck his quiet cock. Another dick joke. Cooper tries to convince Cliff he and Josh love to party, so he should just come move in with them. He gives them beers. Then he points out the one that Josh has is not beer. So he immediately spits that out. Oh my God. So then he asks to be kicked in the junk. And what did you think of this? What the rush from being kicked in the junk causes him to spontaneously start rapping.
I watched that twice because I had to see what he was saying and pay attention. And it's so good.
My name is Cliff, brother of Joe. I got me some crack. I want me some hoes. And then he's right up in Josh's face. And then after this, Cliff wants to hump a lamp. He wants to hump the couch. He wants to meet some chicks. So Cooper says, hey, we know girls. Come with us. What do? They bring him over to poor Miss Rachel's room where she's hanging out with Kristen and Lucy. They're going to subject these innocent girls to this awful guy.
I love how every time too, when he says he's horny, he does that little tongue flick thing in his mouth. That fucking got me. I was like, this guy's a psychopath.
He's nuts. I love it. Yes.
I'm here for it. I'm
so glad you feel that way because at this point I laugh so hard at the whole Mission Impossible bullshit. And then now this guy, I'm laughing so hard at him, and we're going to get to, I laugh at all these roommates. It's just, I'm constantly laughing throughout this movie. In the girls' room, he wants to know which one's for him or are they lesbians? Doesn't matter. Either way, he decides to offer poor little terrified Lucy a bong hit. And while he does so, he lights her hair on fire.
I love it because of the wig that she has to wear after.
It looks like something died on top of her head later on when you see her with the wig. I love that Cliff is bummed about her hair because that means a blowjob is now out of the question.
He's
and
nuts.
At this point, Rachel and Kristen are rightfully pissed and kick all three of them out of the room. So Cliff isn't done. He wants to drive the boys into town to get some hookers, his favorite of which is a beauty named Carl. So on the way, Cliff tells them he shouldn't even be driving. His license was revoked for attempted vehicular manslaughter. He's driving like a total dickhead. He pulls up behind a cop car, starts yelling at the cops, which of course they start chasing them. And then what does he do while they're driving? He pulls a gun out of the glove compartment and starts shooting at the cops. Man, he's got way more issues than they were aware of. So yeah, at this point, Cooper and Josh wisely decide to jump out of the moving car and get away from Cliff. They walk back to campus, covered in dirt, where Zeke, Jerry, and Pickle assume that they must be having a lover's quarrel. And then they hear through the door the argument that ensues. This is the part that's like, this is very politically incorrect. Nowadays, we don't, ha, 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 somebody might be gay. it maybe made me laugh once upon a time and it doesn't now. Now I just find the whole thing in poor taste and I'm like, stop with the gay jokes. That's enough.
That's how I felt about the theme of the whole movie. I was like, this whole
For me,
thing
it's
is
just
in poor taste.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it.
I myself am often in poor taste. So, so that doesn't, but the making light of the fact that maybe they're a gay couple. I mean, they do kind of redeem themselves later on and tell them, hey, if you're gay, we love you anyway, we're your friends. But I don't like that. It doesn't make me laugh.
That's true.
Cliff is definitely a non-starter, and Josh chooses their next mark, Buckley.
Yes.
Mr. Buckley, he is paranoid, delusional, and has suicidal urges. We see Buckley in the computer lab, and he's obviously terrified of Josh and Cooper because he doesn't know who they are and wonders what they're doing there. He trusts no one.
When he says, bring it on, what's in here? Strychnine to that old lady in the dining hall?
Oh my God. Yeah, he literally thinks everyone's trying to kill him. When they see him leave the computer lab and he's darting through the trees and yelling at everybody.
Yeah, he is nuts.
Oh, poor little Buckley. So yeah, they see him dart across the lawn, trying to get away from people. They're in the cafeteria. Like you said, he thinks the lunch lady's trying to kill him.
That made me laugh out loud.
Cooper and Josh tear apart Kyle's room, get rid of everything, getting ready for Buckley to move in. Cooper shows up at Buckley's room, where Buckley tells Cooper Kurt Cobain and Vince Foster aren't dead. They're living together near Mount St. Helens, and Bill Gates is behind the whole thing. Bill Gates is apparently also having Buckley followed. He already took half his brain when he fell asleep once at the airport, and he wants Buckley dead. Buckley is convinced that maybe if he takes his own life, he will stop the impending apocalypse. And Cooper tells him that he should come hide in their room.
I thought it was weird that in Buckley's room, he has like surveillance photos of himself all over the wall.
Himself. I know.
What is that about?
I noticed that too. They're like blown up to poster size too. What the hell?
He's a nut. I love it.
So now that Buckley has moved into Kyle's empty room, Josh is feeling pretty proud of his choice. But suddenly Cliff appears behind the door, on the lam from the cops, handcuffed to the steering wheel, hoping to hide there for a while. I would love to see how that happened.
Right? You're piecing it together. Like, yeah.
Cliff proceeds to let them know that he took a bullet for them after he jumped from the car, and he shows them his bloody back. How does it look? It's a little red.
You've got red on you.
But they force Cliff out into the hallway where he grabs unsuspecting Zeke and heads off to party with him so that Buckley will not see Cliff. Josh tells Buckley to call the suicide hotline if he's feeling stressed. He does, and who answers the phone? Cooper.
After rustling it away from the supervisor lady. That made me laugh.
Cooper answers Buckley's call and tells him, you should be scared, and that he is Bill Gates and he's coming for Buckley. Oh my God.
I swear to God, if they put this much effort into studying Cooper did, he'd be fine.
That's what's so funny. The minute they go into planning mode with the chalkboard and all this stuff, it's like, Cooper, you clearly have it in you, buddy. Look at how much effort you're putting into this.
Right.
That's the whole idea. Just shake your head at, oh my God, man, is he misguided? So Rachel stops by Josh and Cooper's room, realizes that Josh never even bothered to read her story, calls him out for being a jerk, and leaves. And I'm thinking, I'm not a huge fan of this actress, but go Rachel. I love that her. She doesn't for 1 minute tolerate his shit, right?
Not at all.
So Cooper enters with a bunch of things that really should be kept away from suicidal people, like rope, knives, pills. He wants to plant them in the bathroom. But while they're doing this, Buckley comes in. Josh and Cooper jump into the shower to hide from him. I love that in this moment, Josh says, we're like the Hardy Boys from hell. And they're whispering to each other, and Buckley hears them, opens the shower, and discovers Josh holding a noose, Cooper holding a knife. He immediately runs like hell.
Rightly so.
Yes, Buckley bolts, but he hasn't been in Josh and Cooper's room very much, and he goes in there and sees all the photos, mostly of himself and all the files everywhere. So he's now firmly convinced that they are with Bill Gates and they are in on it. He runs down the hall and he is elated, screaming that they're not going to get him and he's not crazy. So now we have, unfortunately, Buckley's been set free, but this is another fail at Mr. Z plan. So outside, Cliff is found apparently dead on the ground after falling out of a window. And Josh feels bad that they didn't try to help him. But Cooper thinks this means they're on the right track because look, we thought he might do it and he did. Cliff is, of course, breathing though, and he gets taken away by ambulance. And Cooper is...
Wait, when they put the oxygen on him and he takes a big hit and he's like, yeah, or whatever. It's just oxygen, buddy.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Better Off Dead. This is pure snow. All right, yeah. So he's literally, that's like the story of Cliff, right? He is high on life.
Right.
This guy is perpetually high on life. So yeah, he's hitting that oxygen. He's going to be okay. Cooper is determined more than ever that they are onto something here and they need to try it one more time with Matt Noonan, played by Corey Page. Matt,
I don't know who this guy is, but I fucking love him in this.
Oh, he's a doll. Check out his IMDb. I've seen him before. He's fantastic. So Matt is depressive, obsessed with death, and threatens suicide regularly. He's a musician. They immediately, rather than trying to get to know him or lure him in, they just go make the room transfer happen in the computer and get him into the room.
And
he shows
supposed
up.
To be British, right? That accent is British.
He shows up. Yep.
Okay.
Matt moves in. He's got his band in tow and he's British. He is in a band called Kiss My Ass.
Best band name ever.
We see him singing his song about sperm.
My words are my sperm.
Alone and surrounded by candles, his words are his sperm.
I died.
So he sings about his sperm and tells Josh and Cooper that his band will be playing a party soon if he's still around.
Right.
Matt hates his bandmates and he tells them that their rehearsal is crap and kicks them out. He tells Cooper and Josh he has nothing to look forward to. Cooper is awakened late at night by the sound of laughter, and he approaches Matt's door and sees Matt sitting on the bed like an 8-year-old, crisscross, giggling and smiling, watching some kind of children's program. I don't know what he's watching on TV.
I didn't know what it was either, and I thought it was pretty weird that Cooper could look through that giant keyhole and see everything.
Huge old keyhole there. Matt denies that he was laughing or watching TV and tells Cooper to piss off. He's a big fan of telling people to piss off. Cooper wakes Josh up and tells him that he suspects Matt isn't actually depressed. Josh takes Cooper's giant purple bong away from him when he tries to use it and breaks it, telling Cooper he needs to stay focused and pull himself together. Matt enters while Cooper is stifling his tears over the purple people eater. Matt tells them he is having dreams of killing himself after his band plays this upcoming gig. After this obvious cry for help, Cooper has a renewed sense of excitement, and we cut to him skipping around gleefully, dancing with professors and hugging girls he doesn't know, while one of my favorite songs from my high school experience, Hell by the Squirrel Nut Zippers, plays. Love that song.
I did like it. I didn't know what song it was, but I did like it.
Squirrel Nut Zippers, yeah, I love them. If you like that song, listen to some of their other stuff. They're a really cool band. So at the party, Kiss My Ass plays Sperm.
My words are my sperm. What?
During the song, this whole scene, I'm laughing so hard. Cooper is dancing up a storm because he's so happy that his plan's working. Kristen obviously has a huge crush on Matt. Lucy's wig looks like something died on her head. It's falling off. She keeps having to grab it and put it back up. And I love that she's so stupid she didn't put her hair up under it. She puts it on top of her hair and lets her hair hang down on the one side.
Right. It looks awful.
So we see Zeke doing the Cabbage Patch and the Running Man, and Josh heads off to find Rachel. When the song ends, Matt just throws the microphone with the stand, just throws it, and storms off the stage, blows the girls off as they're trying to talk to him, and heads straight for the bathroom. Cooper follows him and discovers Matt smiling, dancing, and singing show tunes because he thinks he's alone.
I love this. Oh my God. Because you're like, the whole time you think something's not right. Like this whole thing is clearly an act.
When he's standing there looking in the mirror and he just suddenly pulls out his comb and then he smiles at himself. You're just like, what the fuck? First time viewing, you're just like, what the hell? I knew something was up, but I didn't see that coming.
Not at all. I loved it.
Cooper barges in, accuses him of being a poser, and then discovers that the British accent isn't even real. That moment where he lets his American accent slip out and then he covers his mouth like, oh shit. Yeah, Corey Page, man, he's a good actor.
I Googled him while we've been talking, and he's Australian.
That
so he
tracks.
was doing the American accent and the British accent, and he's Australian.
Ooh, yeah. And he's pretty easy on the eyes, too. Gotta love it. Him working his eyeliner. Yeah, this whole where he's singing Life is a Cabaret, and he's dancing around. Just, oh my God. So unexpected when that happens. So outside, Josh finds Rachel, who wisely again tells him she hasn't been sitting around waiting for him. She used to really like him, but she was wrong. He's not a great guy.
Yep.
I love that she just keeps telling him like it is, right?
Yep. Keeping it real.
And while he's trying to plead his case to her, enter Buckley, who shows up and starts loudly proclaiming to everyone within earshot that Josh has files on all of them. He's a bad guy and he can't be trusted. Of course, Rachel just looks at Buckley, looks at Josh, and is like, yeah, that makes sense, and walks away. Cooper shows up with Matt's high school yearbook. He ran back to the room and got it, which confirms that Matt is full of shit. He was voted Mr. Happy in high school and was the #1 pep leader. The picture of him with the megaphone, and oh my God.
It's amazing.
Right now. So then they head back to the room. They go inside, find Matt kissing Kristen, decide to leave the party. On their way out, they run into Zeke and Jerry, who let them know that, hey, they're cool with them being a couple, and they actually encourage them to work through their relationship problems, which I think is kind of a little bit like, thank you for at least giving me that.
Right.
Still a little mad about the gay jokes, but at least they're cool with it. So feeling defeated, they decide to head home, and they stop at Pickle's room because they need to use his blender. They've seen Pickle around numerous times before now, and he's usually going, hey, how's it going? Hey, how you guys doing? And they just kind of ignore him, don't they? He's tried to befriend them. They've been ignoring him. They ask to use his blender, and Pickle tells them, go ahead. There's already a margarita mix in there. So they pour themselves some margaritas, and they're pondering what they're going to do after they get kicked out of school. And while that happens, Josh notices a note on Pickle's label maker that says, goodbye, can't take it, I'm sorry.
That was so random too. Like the label maker just sitting there like that. Weird choice, I thought.
All the little stuff in his room, like he's always trying to make his room all homey and organized when you see him, and he makes labels and puts little labels on everything. Yeah. This poor kid. Realizing that Pickle decided to kill himself, Cooper insists Josh has to go visit the office right now and transfer Pickle to their room before he dies. Cooper starts trying to move Pickle's stuff across the hall to their room and runs into angry Kyle. Oops, you forgot he even existed, didn't you, Cooper? Kyle wants to know what the fuck happened to his room. Matt and Kristen are in there having sex. Cooper takes advantage of the situation by directing angry Kyle's anger at Matt, who has an ass kicking coming to him. Close the door and let's let those two sort that out. Over in Pickle's room, Josh, of course, has returned and is trying to help him.
I love that.
Yeah, I know. Of course he does, because he's a sweet guy and he would never stand by and let that happen. So yeah, that's a little redeeming moment for him.
Totally.
So he's trying to help Pickle out. And of course he did call 911. Pickle is taken away in an ambulance. Cooper is angry that Josh helped and accuses him of having no guts. You didn't go through with the plan here.
Yeah. Doesn't he say something about people who make it in this world have guts and obviously you don't, or some shit like that?
That's exactly what Cooper says to Josh. Accuses him of having no guts for calling 911, for not letting Pickle die.
Yeah, I was like pulling a Nikki Flicks. I was like at the TV, excuse me, sir. You are so wrong about the guts.
That's why it's important to note that that's what he says when he says this, because in a moment he kind of backtracks on what he's saying, and we'll get to that. So yeah, Cooper's angry that Josh helped Pickle. Josh heads alone to the bridge, throws his stethoscope into the water, and word quickly spreads around campus that Josh is on the bridge, maybe threatening to jump. Cooper hears this and immediately runs to the bridge. While the cops arrive and students start to gather around, Josh is standing on the ledge and Cooper tries to talk him down. Cooper finally mans up and tells Josh he understands that Josh has realized he doesn't want to be a doctor and it's okay if he's off his track now. Finally gets that. And then he says that he should be the one up on the bridge, not Josh, because he is a permanent do nothing fuck up. It's pretty much what he says. And that Josh isn't. So Cooper's just being totally honest finally. He commends Josh for doing the right thing, helping Pickle, and says that he's the one who has no guts. So he instantly backtracked on what he said because it took him 10 minutes to realize he's full of shit. That's not true. So at least he's having a bit of a redeeming moment with that.
That's true.
It's the pot and the kettle.
Right?
So then he calls Josh his best friend and Josh decides to come down. They hug and Cooper's in tears, which always makes my heart a little happy because I'm like, you deserve it. You deserve to be sad and cry. You're a dick. But then Josh asked Cooper, do you think they bought it? He wasn't actually suicidal. He did this as a last-ditch effort to get pity from the school's staff and hopefully save his scholarship. Jerry and Zeke are standing nearby in full-on tears because Cooper and Josh are the sweetest couple they've ever seen. So after this, in voiceover, Josh tells us that he was able to stay in school, but had to spend 6 months in therapy.
School bent the rules for him. I call bullshit.
I agree with you. The whole concept's bullshit. That's not how college works. So through therapy, Josh discovered he's actually more interested in psychology than medicine. So he's changed his major. Good job, Josh. You found yourself.
Right.
Cooper's dad was so proud of him for saving Josh's life that he went ahead and paid for another semester of school, provided that Cooper spend his vacation cleaning toilets. I love that Cooper's paying his penance and he's cleaning the damn toilets for flushals.
Yes, agreed.
But he's turned it into a Zen experience by smoking a joint while he does it.
Sometimes a leopard just won't change his spots.
Exactly. So Cooper also continued working at the suicide hotline in school, but he appears to be using his time to shop for concert tickets, not take actual calls.
Right.
Makes me laugh when he's going, are you kidding me? Are you crazy? Go kill yourself. In a suicide hotline? Such the wrong thing to say, Cooper. Josh and Rachel got back together, of course.
Yes.
Buckley was later arrested for attempting to assassinate Bill Gates. Kelly and angry Kyle broke up, which caused Kyle to spend most of his free time in the confessional jacking off to the freshman Facebook.
Oh my God. When he started yelling and it started shaking, I almost spit out my water and had to pause it. I laughed so hard. I'm telling you, every ancillary character in this film had me in stitches.
Comedy gold, I know.
Totally.
So then we see what happened to Matt. He decided to take his music in a new direction to a happy 60s mod smiley pop style. And Kiss My Ass became very successful with their hit song, Sperm.
Yes! And we even get some of him singing it in that style. It's so good. That's my favorite part.
The song Sperm is your favorite thing from this movie.
He and his whole band and the sperm thing is my favorite part.
Pickle recovered from his suicide attempt, thankfully, and he happily moved into Kyle's old room. I was so happy to see that, and it's like, so we can keep an eye on him.
He also
and
says,
then they
throw
in, and I call bullshit. They're literally being teenage boys by saying that. It's because they feel bad and they want to make sure nothing bad ever happens to Pickle again. The end. I don't think they needed to throw that line in there, and it pisses me off.
Not at all.
You agree with me?
Agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
I was like, let them have their full redemption. Let them be nice guys now, I guess. Pisses me off that they're not. As for Cliff O'Malley,
yes,
he was aboard a party cruise that caught fire mysteriously and capsized. His body was lost at sea. And Cooper took that very hard. I would posit, I think Cooper and Cliff are soulmates. Just putting it out there. So Cooper has a vision of visiting Cliff's grave, and Cliff's hand pops out. Out pops his head.
Did you see the tombstone, what it said?
What did it say?
It says the rap that you did earlier.
My name is Cliff, brother of Joe.
Yes.
Got me some crack. I want me some
hose. It's on the tombstone.
So Cliff, brother of Joe, pops out of the dirt and immediately gets pissed off at Cooper for kneeling on his junk. Starts grabbing him, wanting to know where the party is. Cooper awakens because, of course, this is a nightmare. He took Cliff's death very hard. And Josh is right there to comfort him. Oh, they are buddies. They're best buds. So while he's comforting Cooper, in busts Cliff, wearing his life preserver, still very much alive, unfortunately, proclaiming that he is horny. Josh and Cooper hold each other and scream. Cut to black. If you stick around through the credits, there is a little nugget of Cliff-related goodness afterward. We've got Zeke busting into Josh and Cooper's room. His arm is on fire, screaming for help. Which they put out with a pillow. In walks Cliff with a blowtorch, and he's got one of those welding masks on, and he says, "Get over here, we're not done yet." And drags poor Zeke out of the room.
You just know that was cut from somewhere in the movie, but they were like, we've got to use it somewhere.
I love the fact that not only does Cliff get the last laugh and the last word in the movie, he also then gets the last laugh and last word again after the credits.
Rightly so.
It's funny because this is why I love talking about movies that we haven't watched a million times together, because I sometimes learn something totally different or change my opinion. This really is Lachlan Monroe's movie. I thought I was here because I love Mark Paul Gosselaar and I think he's funny as Cooper. But now that I have talked it out with you and laughed my ass off every time we're talking about Cliff so much, I realize he's what makes this movie.
110%. Got you to come around on that. All right.
Absolutely. I mean, I think like all the roommate characters, they all contribute to the comedy so much, but him more so than anybody.
Oh, absolutely. I think, like I said in the beginning, and I'm sticking firm with it, it's all the extra characters, all the roommate wannabes that make this movie, because every little thing they go through, the antics of having to go through the process of being their roommate, is fucking hysterical.
I agree. And it's fun to hear the movie from someone's perspective who only just now saw it and didn't see it back in 1998.
I know. I could not believe that I missed this one. I've missed quite a few over the years, so I'm happy to circle back.
Well, you gave me Alligator. I gave you this movie. So you're up next. Let's see what you got. But before we end the conversation, before I dismiss the class, I do have 3 questions for you.
Yes, bring it on.
So, question 1 on your quiz. What do you think would happen if Cliff and Angry Kyle got locked in a room together?
Ooh.
Can you even picture that happening?
My money is on Cliff, honestly, especially after that blowtorch scene. Because Kyle, as we saw, has a sweet side to him. He's just got a lot of pent up sexual aggression. I feel like Cliff would do a number on him for sure.
I think they would probably come out of there the best of friends. I think the two of them seem like they're a match made in heaven. All right, question number 2. This movie happened 23 years ago, and of course, the Facebook. It basically predicted Facebook. Was Buckley really crazy, or do you think he might have been on to something about Bill Gates? What are your thoughts?
I think aliens. It could be aliens. I am one for conspiracy theories. I don't buy it all, but I like to think Bigfoot's out there. So when I see a character like this that's a little paranoid, and especially when it targets on somebody rich and famous, or not famous so much then, but who could have their hands in some stuff, I'm with Buckley. I feel it. I think surveilling yourself is a bit much.
I swear to God, I want black and white blown up posters of just me going,
yes, it's
like being caught off guard.
Yes,
just everywhere.
Him and looking over his shoulder.
Yeah. That way, eventually, when someone finds me dead in my bedroom, they're going to go, what the hell kind of life did she live? And scene. All righty. So the last question on your quiz today. What major do you think Cooper eventually chose? What do you see him doing now that he's learning the benefits of schoolwork and studying? What do you think?
I think after cleaning all those toilets, he's going to go into something along the lines of architecture, because he's going to want to build a better model that he doesn't have to get on his hands and knees to clean.
I see where you're going with that. He would literally go about the business of spending months designing a room just so he wouldn't have to get on his knees and clean the toilet.
Exactly.
Taking the long way around.
Chalkboard. Yep. That's exactly what he would do.
That is excellent. What a good answer.
What do you think, though? I want to know.
I think his dad paid for 2 more semesters. He dropped out and became a game show host. That's what I think. I don't think he ever chose a major. I think Josh eventually stopped talking to him, and that was that.
Yes, and now he's hosting Wheel of Fish on UHF.
There you go. Did we cover everything? Did we touch on everything that you wanted to talk about?
Yes, I feel like we covered it thoroughly. I am so delighted that you suggested this one, because even though I probably won't ever rewatch it, it was definitely worth watching at least once. And I sort of didn't have to pay for it. So we're good.
Good. I'm glad it tickled your pickle just a little bit. And we certainly laughed a lot talking about it. So I'm sure you laughed quite a bit while watching it.
Absolutely.
All righty. So that wraps up today's lecture on the movie Dead Man on Campus. In case anybody's interested in checking out this movie, it is currently available on Amazon Prime for free if you have a Prime subscription, or for purchase and rent on all the digital platforms. It's out there. It's easy to find. So I want to thank my co-host, Movie Miss, for joining me today.
Of course.
Until next time, this is Panther and Dinah signing off. Goodbye.
Wait, I'm Cobra.
Remember, your code name is Dinah. What's yours, Panther? Why do you get to be Panther? Abort! Abort! Dinah, repeat, you're breaking up. South hallway, get out of there! Dinah, save yourself!
I'll be back.
Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot!
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Why don't you get the fuck out of here?
Get the fuck out of here!
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here!
Get the fuck out of here.
Hey listeners, Movie Miss here. Listen, I know you have a lot of options when it comes to podcasts, so thank you for listening to the show. I know everybody says this, but for a fledgling little show like ours that's just hanging on, it would really help us if you could subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Good Pods. We're also on Pandora, Audible, Amazon Music. It would really help us grow the show and reach more people if you could subscribe and then rate and review, which is really the key part of it. Make sure to be part of our Bad Movie conversation by following us on social media. Interact with me on social media. I'm on Instagram at Movie Miss, which is movie_miss. The show is on Instagram at Let's Talk Turkeys. Also on Blue Sky at Let's Talk Turkeys and Facebook. You can also chat with like-minded bad movie lovers in our Facebook discussion group. Also, hit me up on socials if you want to be a guest on the show. Always looking for guests. I can assign you a movie, something we think is fun, or you can bring a movie that you think is a bad movie if it has a low Rotten Tomatoes score, or you just really don't like the movie but you like to talk about it. That's half the fun, I think. Again, this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. Without you, the show wouldn't still be kicking around. So thank you so much for hanging in there with us.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.